Hello, Arthur and my dears. How are you all doing today? It's cold and chilly and gray outside. Good day to be in reading. There are 24 days left before Christmas. Oh my gosh, it's already December 2nd. Unbelievable. Well, today I have for you Walt Disney Productions' Mickey's Christmas Carol. One snowy winter day, inside miserly Ebenezer Scrooge's counting house, a cold and weary Bob Cratchit looked up from his ledgers. "Mr. Scrooge, tomorrow is Christmas, and I was wondering if I could have half of a day off, please?" "Well, I suppose so, but I'll dock you half a day's pay." Geez, he even has to work on Christmas. Wow. Scrooge flipped through his account book gleefully. Money, money, money. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It was Scrooge's cheery nephew, Fred. "Merry Christmas, Uncle Scrooge." "Bah, humbug. 'Tis a work day, you know." "Aw, come on. I've come to invite you to Christmas dinner." "Oh, I suppose you're going to have a plump goose with chestnut dressing. And will you have plum pudding and lemon sauce with roast squab and pickled raisins?" Yes, will you come?" "Are you daft, man? You know I can't eat that stuff. Out, out, out." Bob Cratchit spoke up timidly. "But, sir, Master Fred has brought us a Christmas wreath. May I hang it on our door?" "You do, and I'll hang it on you." Fred handed his uncle the gift. "Merry Christmas." But Scrooge jammed the wreath down over his nephew's head. "And a bah humbug to you." It was very clear Ebenezer Scrooge was definitely not fond of Christmas. Once again, Scrooge returned to his ledger, mumbling about money, when there was another knock on the door. Two men stood shivering from the cold. "Sir, we are soliciting funds for the indigent and destitute." "For the what?" "We're collecting for the poor." Scrooge smiled, jingling his coins in his pocket. "Oh, well, you realize if you give money to the poor, then they won't be poor anymore, will they? And if they're not poor anymore, then you won't have to raise money for them anymore." "Well, I suppose. And if you don't have to raise money for them anymore, then you would be put out of a job." "Oh, please, gentlemen, don't ask me to put you out of a job, not on Christmas Eve." Oh, well, we wouldn't do that, Mr. Scrooge." "All right, both of you, out, out, out." Scrooge chased the men out into the snow and slammed the door. "What's the world coming to, Cratchit? You work all your life to get money, and people want you to give it away." After closing time, Scrooge walked through the crowded streets, taking no notice of the merry people rushing home to their loved ones. When he arrived at his gloomy house, the door knocker took on the face of his late partner, Jacob Marley. Scrooge touched the knocker. "Oh!" Scrooge stumbled back. "No, that can't be. Door knockers don't speak. It's simply a figment of my imagination. No, it's a figment of my whatever." Horrified, Scrooge rushed upstairs to his bedroom, bolting the door behind him. But the ghost of Jacob Marley passed right through the door, dragging his heavy chains. A cold chill ran through Scrooge's body. His teeth began to chatter, his knees began to knock, and his eyes popped out. Marley blinked. "Now that you've finished the number, I'd like to talk to you. Tonight you will be visited by 3 spirits, ghosts. Listen to them. Do what they say, or your chains will be heavier than mine." Then, sadly, Marley quietly left him. Scrooge tossed and turned fearfully in his sleep. Suddenly he awoke. There, perched atop the nightstand, was a tiny figure. "I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Come on, Scrooge. It's time to go." The bedroom window opened magically. "I'm not going out there. I'll fall." "Just hold on. We're going to visit your past." And with that, the two flew out over the darkened city. They stopped outside a familiar window. Scrooge saw a vision of a young man dancing at a party. "That's me." The spirit nodded. "Yes, that was before you became a miserable miser consumed by greed." "There's lovely Isabel. Ah, I remember how much I was in love with her." With a snap of his fingers, the ghost of Christmas past brought them to Scrooge's old counting house. Young Scrooge was busy fiddling with his books as Isabel meekly approached his desk. 9,972, 9,900, and Ebenezer? For years I've had this honeymoon cottage. Ebenezer, I've been waiting for you to keep your promise to marry me. Now I must know. Have you made your decision?" "I have. Your last payment on the cottage was 7 minutes late. I'm foreclosing the mortgage." Scrooge could no longer bear those memories. "Please, Spirit, take me home." "Remember, Scrooge, you loved your gold more than that precious creature, and you lost her forever. You fashioned these memories yourself. In a flash, Scrooge was back in his cold bed. He had just convinced himself that the whole thing was nothing but a nightmare when a huge shadow fell across the bed, revealing a giant of a man. "I am the spirit of Christmas present," he bellowed. "I have filled the room with all of the good things that you withheld from your fellow man. Look." Scrooge's beady eyes glistened as all manner of exotic foods spilled out of a horn of plenty. Suckling pigs, fruit cakes, mincemeats, and prune Danish to go. But when Scrooge reached for corned beef on rye, the giant stopped him. "We have no time for that now. We have a long way to travel, and we must fly. Take hold of my robe. Not back there unless you want to fly tourist." In an instant, they were at the window of Bob Cratchit's humble cottage. Scrooge watched as the family gathered around the dinner table. Happy Tiny Tim Cratchit leaned on his crutch and watched his father serve a scrawny holiday turkey. Scrooge scratched his head. "What is Cratchit doing? Carving a canary?" "Well, what do you expect with the meager wage you bestow upon him? 2 shillings a day. Shame." The house was filled with joy as Bob began dinner. "Let's not forget the man who made this glorious feast possible, Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge. What do you say, Tiny Tim?" "I say, thank you, Mr. Scrooge, and God bless us, everyone." Ebenezer turned to the spirit, but the giant had disappeared, and in his place stood the ghost of Christmas past, Christmas future, shrouded in black robes. The scene changed, and the Cratchit cottage now looked sad and dreary. As Scrooge looked into the future, he saw that the chair on Bob's left was empty. Tiny Tim was gone. Scrooge shuddered. "Spirit of the future, what does this mean?" No, I didn't want this to be. I wanted Tiny Tim to get well, that sweet, darling boy." The spirit turned his back on Scrooge, and with the broad sweep of his robe, he delivered Ebenezer to a wind-swept cemetery. The ghost pointed toward two gravediggers who were engaged in their ghoulish occupation. They're digging a grave. One of the grave diggers tossed a last shovelful of dirt. "That does it. Tamp it down tight, Charlie." "You know, Harold, I never saw a funeral like this one." "Right. There was nobody about. No mourners, no friends, no one to shed a tear or bid him farewell." Scrooge stepped closer. "Spirit, whose lonely grave is this?" Spirit pointed at the headstone. Scrooge went to read it. It was his own grave. It said, "The richest man in the cemetery." Scrooge slipped and stumbled into the grave. "Oh no, I don't want my life to end this way. I want another chance. Spirit, I'll change my ways. I'll change. Suddenly, Scrooge woke up. "I'm back in my own bed. It must be. It is. It's Christmas morning. Yes, I can be a new man. I will honor Christmas in my heart and keep it all year." He flung open the window and shouted to the street with joy, "Merry Christmas, everyone! What a glorious Christmas morning!" By chance, Scrooge noticed two men who had been collecting for the poor. He dug into his bag of coins. "Well, bless me! Good morning, gentlemen. I've something for ye. Here ye are, 100 gold pieces, and not a penny more. Hee hee!" The two could hardly believe their eyes. "Oh, thank you, Mr. Scrooge, and Merry Christmas to you." The Cratchit family was astonished to see Mr. Scrooge at the door of their cottage. His arms were laden with gifts and a plump turkey. "Ha ha ha! Yes, it's Mr. Scrooge, and I brought Christmas presents for you and all the children." Bob Cratchit was almost speechless. "But, Mr. Scrooge, I don't understand." "What do you mean you don't understand? Why, only yesterday you told me Christmas was a time for giving. Well, now I'll tell you what Christmas is. 'Tis a time that, once a year, men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and celebrate the joy of Christmas." Scrooge had learned a lesson that he would never forget. Let it be said that no one will ever keep Christmas as well as Ebenezer Scrooge. So remember, keep Christmas in your heart at this time and all year round. Give and smile and say hello to people. Have a great day today, and I love you all. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.